What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with another video on Avengers Doomsday. So, it's a pretty interesting time to be a Marvel fan. We currently have Daredevil Born Again currently airing, and they're also currently filming season 2. Careful for spoilers! Maybe Foggy's going to film some scenes very soon. I'm not saying he's alive, not saying he's dead, but who knows. Also, Marvel's Thunderbolts is coming out in May, which isn't too long away. And also in the summer, in July, we are getting the Fantastic Four. And hopefully, we start to hear some more information about that. We know CinemaCon's coming up, so probably, maybe getting a trailer there. So, if you are new around here, what the freaking hell are you doing? Make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse, pop culture-based content that I try to deliver on a daily basis. Could subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know down below. What do you actually think's going on with Doomsday? I don't think all is as it seems. And also, if you want to see the beauty of face behind the beauty of voice, check us out on Instagram. That'd be much appreciated over there. And check us out on Twitter, WorstUG. Right, let's get into it. So, I think Marvel is actually rage baiting everyone who follows pop culture on the internet, whether it be YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, so on and so forth. So, why? So we get an announcement at San Diego Comic-Con 2024. RDJ is back. He's definitely not going to be Tony Stark. Interesting. So they're getting ready to shoot. They're in pre-production, if you like. They're starting to shoot in England. And this is where it starts to get a bit fishy. So we have this concept art that comes out. And y'all are idiots, basically, because concept art, it's not final. There are so many different artists they hire for concept artists, and people think, yeah, them leaked concept art are real because it was a Marvel concept artist. Yeah, they could be real. Does not mean they're going to be used. The Russo brothers said, no, that's not for our movie, right? They were asked about Doomsday. Them pictures were dominantly for Secret Wars, but still, that does not mean they're legit. And now the Russo bros can't stop yapping. But you've also got to factor in the point that they're filming in England. They're going to be filming on sound stages, right? Which means unless they're filming on location, just like with Deadpool and Wolverine, we're not going to get much factual on-set video clips, images like we did for Infinity War. So they're trying to protect the leaks, yet they keep yapping. They won't stop freaking yapping. Yapping to the point where people keep missing stuff they say. So they came out and were like, there's no one else in the world who can play the character he's about to play, right? With an interview. And why are all these interviews with UK outlets? The Times. And then a few days later, the same thing came out, but he's like, yeah, it's going to have a connection to Tony Stark, Iron Man's death. Interesting, right? I thought, okay, stop yapping, lads. Now, we covered it in a video recently. Now they're yapping a lot more. So this is a link to a YouTube video, but let's be honest, lads, if you actually follow stuff properly, this was said on Omelette a couple of days ago, right? Where they come out and say, we love villains who think they are the heroes of their own story. And just like we said in the YouTube video a couple of days ago, Alex Perez from the Cosmic Circus said this: Doom wants to stop the incursions from happening and stop the multiverse from entirely collapsing on itself. In a way, he's technically a hero in his eyes and the eyes of his followers, kind of like how Thanos saw himself as the hero in Infinity War. I think people have a better time processing the film if they stop thinking of Doom as the ultimate villain meant to swap out Kang at last minute. More of an antagonistic who thinks he's the hero. He is annoyed at he who remains for essentially silencing his universe, as well as every other universal timeline that didn't correspond to the sacred timeline, and wants nothing more than to take reins of his timeline and win his free will. Interesting. So, are we buying this? They're trying to prevent leaks, so they're going to film in England. The main reason they're filming in England, just like they're going to be filming the Mandalorian Grogu Star Wars movie, is if you film in England, you get up to 30% of production value cost back. So the movie costs 300 million, they can get up to 100 million back. Thus far, the movie does better. So yes, they are trying to prevent leaks, but leaks are good. I think the leak community massively helped build the hype for Deadpool and Wolverine, and also for movies like Spider-Man No Way Home. So the Russos are telling us so much, right? As soon as they said, think of him more as a villain. We love doing storylines with villains, right? There's a connection to Iron Man's death. But we're not going to undo Iron Man's death. And the reason why Robbie Downey Jr. is the only person that can do it is because the face is going to be exactly the same. So I don't think this movie is what we actually think it is. So most people have been assuming, because at the end of Loki season 2, we had Tom Hiddleston playing God Antlers Loki, if you like, holding together the sacred timeline. Now, the rumor theory going around is that the MacGuffin is there's going to be a bunch of different teams racing to God Loki, and Doctor Doom wants to get to him to absorb his powers so he can collapse the multiverse and create Battleworld, which is interesting. And what I find more interesting is, are the Russos telling the truth, or are they just yapping? Who knows? We don't know. So, I mean, I see a lot of things online, and I think a lot of it nonsense. So one of the biggest, most unreliable scoopers came out and said, Marvel is getting worried because a Netflix movie that the Russos made didn't. I mean, do you not understand how Netflix works? I don't think you do. Netflix makes constant content. Doesn't matter how well it does, they keep flying content out. Just like Apple TV. Don't really think most of these scoopers understand things. Doesn't need to do well. As long as it gets okay viewership, it's fine. Marvel is not worried, right? Because of Infinity War, because of Endgame, because of Civil War. Stop yapping, lads. So I don't assume this movie is what we think it's going to be. So the actress who plays the Scarlet Witch recently came out and said something, right? And I don't understand why people keep asking. We know what happened at the end of Multiverse of Madness. She's not dead. She's buried. But we know if you watch Agatha All Away or Agatha All Along, I can't remember what they actually called it in the end, is they are essentially trying to find a way to bring her back. We know this already. And then Russo say, we are telling a beginning of a story. Endgame wasn't ending. Do you not think they're telling us a little bit too much information? So everyone's assuming that Scarlet Witch is one of the strongest Avengers in the multiverse. Well, she is, actually. They hinted that she's potentially a Nexus being. But we don't actually know if she is a Nexus being, but they hinted at that. So the actress constantly keeps coming out and hinting at a return, saying that she would love to return if given the chance. But I find these things like kind of annoying, because for me it's like, okay, an actor would return for another payday if you gave her the chance. Interesting. And this Scarlet Witch movie that everyone's been talking about for the last 6 years had no headway. It really wouldn't. But Elizabeth Olsen did say that Marvel gives her a lot of creative freedom. She's already played the role for 10 years, and they always ask her what she wants to do. So sure, yes, and we know she had the storyline in Multiverse Madness with the Darkhold. We didn't get Chthon. I really think they flopped the bag there, although it was a half-decent movie. So she's like, sure, if they want me to return, I will return. And we know her kids are going to look for her, and potentially they're going to be doing some variation of the Child's Crusade comic arc at some point. But a lot of people think, yo, I read the comics, I know everything. But you're not factoring in the fact that the Russos are yapping so much to the point where it should be making you think, okay, what's going on here? They're trying to protect leaks, but the Russos keep yapping about what's happening in the movie. And without saying much, they're saying a lot. I think there is huge misdirection going on. I do think the Scarlet Witch will return in Avengers Doomsday. You've even got people like Alex Perez posting stuff. And I mean, potentially you could guess whatever. Doom could potentially use her to collapse the multiverse and build Battleworld. We know, based on how powerful and OP she was in Multiverse Madness, that she can basically warp reality if she wants to. So sure, yeah, she would be a good candidate to have some kind of romantic relationship, because Wanda, it's still Wanda at the end of the day, and she's gonna feel bad for what happened in Multiverse Madness. So she's gonna want to right her wrong, and then Doctor Doom, with his egotistical ego, is gonna manipulate people. But maybe Wanda's manipulating him, and maybe Wanda is still the overall villain. Who knows? We don't know. But I do find it interesting that everyone seems to think they know the entire plot of a movie that's not even filmed yet, and you've got suspects. You've got some sus people, the Russo brothers, yapping and telling you so much. Interesting. And yeah, of course, they've got to wrap up the Kang storyline. Jonathan Majors said recently he wants to play Kang the Conqueror again, and speaks out on how Marvel parted ways with him after his legal situation. Not a lot on him, the same grace they gave actors like Robert Downey Jr. and Jeremy Renner. You know, and obviously Josh Brolin is also, who played Thanos. There have been a lot of Marvel actors that have been in trouble with the law to a certain degree. So I don't see anything wrong with Kang played by Jonathan Majors, returning to wrap the role up. He knows he's got to wrap it up. But we know in Michael Waldron's original script the following. He was going to return as Beyond version of Kang. You know, because when at the end of Ant-Man 3, and that's where everything went wrong, the reception to it. He got zapped into the Beyond verse and he was going to become the Beyonder. So is that going to happen? No. But a lot of people are doing yapping and saying, yo, we know how this works. We know how this works. Doom's just going to want to crush everything and build Battleworld. I don't think the main idea of Doomsday is just to build Battleworld. So the more the Russos keep yapping, the more I'm thinking whatever they're saying isn't close to being true. But what do I know? Nothing more than anyone else. But I'm not pretending I know how this movie ends or what's even in the movie. Because if RDJ isn't a secret character that was added to the Fantastic Four movie, where they literally hid his face, then the first time we're going to see him will actually be in Avengers Doomsday. And no, in Daredevil's most recent episode, they're not on about Latveria. They're not teasing, no. And anyway, Latveria's been mentioned before in Moon Knight. Don't people keep up? Obviously not. So I don't believe we know anything. Sure, I really do think that Wanda and also Doctor Strange will be God Empress Doom's right-hand man. But how this happens, we don't know. But the more people keep yapping, the Russos keep yapping, the more I'm questioning, why do they keep saying certain things? Are they baiting fans? Do they want a reaction? Because, you know, they can do improv. They're allowed to improv the script whilst they're filming. So no one really knows anything, but no one really has factual information other than saying, yeah, Wanda's going to be in this movie. Everyone's going to be in this movie, although I don't think that's going to be the case. So going to be very interesting to find out what actually happened. Is Doctor Doom really from the same universe as the Fantastic Four? But allegedly they're from the main timeline and they were zapped into a new reality. Or is Doctor Doom actually from the Illuminati timeline? Okay, not timeline. From the universe that was in Multiverse of Madness. Was he the missing seat? In the 838 Illuminati, was he out traveling the multiverse? We know he's done that in the comics, allegedly. So no one knows anything. So stop getting on your high frickin' horse, lads. I don't care how many followers these scoopers have got. Nobody knows nothing yet. And obviously, there's not a lot to talk about at the moment, but there kind of is at the same time. So like always, guys, let us know what you think down below. Any theories, I might make a video on it. Let me know your best theories down below. How is this going to end? Sure, bro, the Russo bro's going, yeah, we take inspiration from Hickman's run. It's not going to be a carbon copy. We didn't get Adam Warlock, did we, in the Infinity Saga? No. So don't be expecting a one-to-one copy of what happened in the comics to actually happen in this movie. And also recently, there is a comic book arc that essentially teases Wanda's return that came out recently. It reads like this. Okay, so I'll admit that pep talk didn't age well. This place is looking worse than I thought it was because this is Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. I've heard about her on my timeline but this one looks like one who is supposed to be dead, squished by a mountain after a showdown with Doctor Strange. So did Marvel get caught out again lying that Elizabeth Olsen Wanda is... we know she's returning. It's just a case of when. Feige told the writers to backtrack the statement because, you know, there was the issue where Wanda was in their kind of capsule in the TVA in a comic book arc recently. Yeah, that was backtracked. We know Wanda is going to appear in Doomsday. It's just a case of how, lads. So like always, lads and ladettes, I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.